Oh my god, you guys make me so nervous. Seriously, every time I get in front of the camera, I start acting weird. I'm so excited to eat this food. Should I wear this bit? Honestly, I haven't filmed a video in a minute, and I figured this is probably the best one to do. I've been craving seafood boil for so fucking long now, but I haven't gone to get it for 2 reasons. One, I'm usually broke and I usually like just don't want to go and spend the money to buy it, so I usually just like don't go buy it. And 2, I don't have any friends, so like I have no one to go with. So I figured that like a good excuse for me to eat this is to buy it and talk to you guys, because honestly, you guys are like the only people that pay attention to me. Even though you guys probably only like seeing me drunk, like it's okay. It's okay. I appreciate any support that's given, like any at all. Yes, I'm eating seafood boil with Thai tea because Thai tea is fucking bomb as fuck. I know it's bad for you, but like it's also really good. I'm obsessed. Okay, so you know what? I need to just stop talking. I'm going to get onto the video. So I figured that buying this food would give me a really good excuse to talk to you guys and tell you guys a story. The only thing that I could really think of at this moment is telling you guys about how and why my parents kicked me out of their house a few years ago. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you guys. This isn't that interesting of a story, but it's one of the only stories I have. So I'm going to tell you guys anyways. This is going to be a long ass video, so bear with me. I'm warning you guys right now. If you don't like watching videos of people just talking, then this is not the video for you, because I'm literally just going to sit here and talk and that's it. Also, I just need to warn you guys right now. I'm a really bad storyteller. So this story is probably going to be all over the place, and I know for a fact it's going to be long as fuck. So we're just going to roll with it. Oh my god, I'm so excited to eat this food. I'm sorry with the potato. Okay. I have my water, my Thai tea, my seafood, everything. Also, I'm going to be talking with my mouth full. So if you don't like that, don't watch this. Seriously. You guys are being warned right now. So in order to tell this story, I have to start from the very beginning. So I'm going to give you guys a little backstory on a relationship that I was in, because it's really important in my parents' decision to kick me out of their house, as dumb as that sounds. So, ew. Oh my god, I'm going to get messy. But, okay, so I'm going to start now. Obviously, I'm not going to say the names of the actual people. If you know me and you're watching this, you're going to immediately know who the hell I'm talking about. But I was in a relationship with this guy. I'm going to call him Brian. I was in a relationship with Brian for 4 years, okay? So before the 4 years that we were together, we were best friends for a few years. So we were a really big part of each other's lives. Our families loved each other because they knew each other for so long, and we were connected in ways other than our own relationship. So when Brian and I first got together, I thought it was like the best relationship in the world, and I was so happy. I was like in love with my best friend, and things were so good. And then as time progressed, I kind of started noticing that he was doing something that I didn't like. And like 1.5 years to 2 years into our relationship, I brought it up to him and I was like, hey Brian, this and this and this that you've been doing, like I'm not okay with it. I want to be with you, I love you, but it needs to change. Like I can't be with someone like that. Like, it just needs to change. So he was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I love you. I want to be with you. I'm going to change. I promise. And he changed for like a day. And then literally like right after that, he would go back to the way he was before. So a few months later, oh my God, this food is so good. I was like, you're still this, like, this is still going on. I'm not okay with it. Like, I love you. The same shit, basically. Like, I want to be with you, but it needs to change. Like, I can't be with someone like this. Like, I just can't. And he was like, you're right. I'm so sorry. I love you. I want to be with you forever. Like, I'm going to change. I promise. He changed for like a day, and then a few months later, like, the same shit happened. So basically, like, every few months I would bring up this, like, what was happening, and I would tell him how I wasn't okay with it, and he would again do the same thing. He would change for a day, and then he would just go back to the way he was before. And the reason I'm telling you guys this part is because as time kept going on, and as I kept bringing up the problem to him, and he kept promising change and he wouldn't change, like, little by little, I was just falling out of love with him. Like, I still loved him because he was my best friend, but I just wasn't in love with him anymore. I obviously, like, wanted that, like, high school sweetheart relationship, like, where we last forever and get married, but I really just couldn't do it. Like, I felt like I was settling. Like, I was like 21 years, I don't remember how old I was when we broke up, but I was like 21, 22 years old, and I just wasn't happy with the way our relationship was going. And I told him, I was like, I'm not in love with you anymore. I'm only with you because I know that if we break up, my family's going to be really upset with me. And they're going to just tell me that I fucked up. And they're just not going to be happy with my decision if I were to choose to break up with him. So I told him that. And I remember he was like, no, like, we're meant to be together. I love you so much. Like, I want to marry you. And I remember just being like, we have more of a friendship than a relationship. And I'm just not in love with you anymore. This conversation happened like 1 or 2 months before we broke up. And again, the reason that that's so significant is because this was going on behind closed doors. And to everyone else in the world, like, everyone else thought that we were like the perfect couple. Like, that we were so happy and in love. And that just they thought we were like this happy, perfect couple. But in reality, I wasn't happy with the relationship at all. So eventually, I break up with him. Let me pause because I need to eat. I should not have thought it this spicy. But anyways, so when we broke up, I was fine. Like, I really wasn't sad. Like, I didn't cry. I literally, like, right after we broke up, like, I started going out and doing my own thing. Like, it was easy for me to move on because I had lost feelings a long time before we actually ended things. So when we broke up, everyone around us was so shocked, of course, including my parents. And they were all, like I thought, they were all so mad at me because they thought that he was like this perfect person. And they were just really mad at me. Like, they really were upset with me. But we broke up. I was doing my own thing. I was having fun. And I wasn't planning on being in a relationship anytime soon. I honestly just wanted to be single and have fun, like, go out with my friends and just do things, like, just live my life, you know? And a few weeks later, on comes this next person. My parents are still sad. Like, I think everyone thought that we were going to get back together. But I knew in my, like, deep down that we were never, ever going to be together again. Like, I knew it. We just weren't meant to be together. We were meant to be friends. And I just knew it. But anyway, so, like, a few weeks later, there was this guy that I worked with, and I'm going to call him Arthur. I don't know why. I'm just going to call him Arthur. I don't know why I keep doing this. But there was this guy that I worked with at one of my jobs, and his name is Arthur. So I had worked with Arthur while I was still with Brian, but I never talked to him. Like, literally, like, I don't think we ever had a full-on conversation. Like, I remember just, like, hearing him. He was like a few desks away from me, and I remember thinking he was literally so fucking annoying. Like, he was loud as hell, and he was obnoxious. Like, he was just so annoying. But then after Brian and I broke up, Arthur just all of a sudden, I guess, was like, oh, like, she's available. Like, I want to talk to her, whatever he thought. So he kind of, like, approached me, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm having fun. Like, I'm not trying to, like, be in a serious relationship. I'm just trying to, like, do my own thing. Hell, we went out a couple of times. Like, this was, like, a few weeks later. Like I said, it was really easy for me to move on because I wasn't hurt and I wasn't even in love with Brian anymore. So this is where my parents started to get involved. I know it took a long time explaining that, but because it honestly, like, it was really important. So Brian was like tweeting sexual things about us, and I didn't care for it because I really don't care about what people think about me for the most part. Like when it comes to my sex life, like I really don't give a fuck. Like you can think whatever you want about me, you can call me whatever you want. Like I know like who I am and what the truth is, so like nothing really like phases me when it comes to things like that. But he was tweeting stuff that I really didn't think was a big deal. Like most of it honestly was fucking song lyrics, like or like song lyrics that have to do with sex. And my parents hated this guy so much. And the reason that they hated him so much, I don't even think it was just because of the fact that he was like tweeting this stuff. They hated him because of the fact that they thought that I cheated on Brian with Arthur. They thought I left Brian, who I was with for 4 years, for Arthur. And they thought that Arthur was just like this bad guy and this bad influence. And they thought that I was being like a bad person and I cheated and things like that. So they hated Arthur, like hated him from the beginning. And and so they hated from the beginning, but kind of got lost. I don't even remember where I left off. Bro, is this kind of spicy? Loki kind of regret getting this spicy. Okay, so where did I leave off? So my parents hated him from like the very beginning. In my head, I was like, this is nothing serious. Like, I don't want to be with this person. Like, I'm just having fun. I'm doing my thing. Like, I wasn't trying to be in a serious relationship. But like I said, my parents dead ass thought, my parents and everyone else around me, excuse me. My parents and everyone else around me thought that I cheated on him and that I just left like Brian for him. So everyone thought just like really bad about me. So I'm gonna stop eating because I'm distracted. So I remember my parents would like tell me something. Like I don't remember exactly how they first initiated a conversation telling me that they don't like Arthur, but they basically did. Like they said that they didn't like him and they were like, we don't want you seeing him. Like we don't think that like he's not a good guy. Just things like that. And I remember being like, you can't tell me who I can and cannot see. And they were like, we're your parents, you live under our roof, you're gonna do what we say. And I remember being like, for once, I'm doing something. Like I'm not staying with, I'm not with someone to make other people happy. Like I'm talking to someone and having fun with someone because I want to have fun with them, because I'm having a good time, because I'm happy. Like I was like, you guys should just be happy that I'm happy. Like you guys should be glad that I'm not heartbroken and that I'm doing my own thing and that I'm just having like a good time and I'm living life and I'm happy. Like for the first time in a long time, I felt like I was finally happy, like doing something for myself. But they didn't really get that. Like to them, they just thought that he was like this bad guy. And like I said, they said that it was like the tweets, the dumb tweets. I tried to look for them, but he has me blocked, so I couldn't find him. But they just basically like hated this guy. So I didn't stop talking to this guy because, like I said, I was happy for the first time in a really long fucking time. I was doing something for myself and I was happy doing it. Like I wasn't with someone or I wasn't talking to someone or I didn't make myself stay with someone to make other people happy. Like I was doing me and I was just so fucking happy at the time. And I was so upset that they didn't understand that. And it got to the point where they were like, we don't want you seeing him anymore. If you want to be with him, then you have to leave the house. And I was like, I'm not going to leave the house, first of all. Second of all, I'm not going to stop seeing him. Like, how are you guys going to say that because I'm seeing someone? You guys don't want me living here. Like, that's so dumb. Especially because at this point in my life, I was working a full-time job, a part-time job, and I was a full-time student taking 5 classes. I didn't drink at all. I didn't do any drugs at all. Can't say that shit anymore. But at that point in my life, like, I really was doing all that shit. I just had my shit together at the time, and I had like really fucking good grades. Like I felt like I was so responsible in every aspect of my life that I didn't understand why they were letting this define me. Like they were letting the fact that I wanted to date this person or I wanted to see this person, they were letting that, I don't know, just basically like define the way they think about me. And my dad, I remember my dad was like, I don't remember exactly how he said it, but he basically said that I was like acting like a hoe. And I told my mom that he said that and she fucking agreed with him. She was like, well, he's right. And I was like, how are you guys gonna say that to me? Like, I don't understand how, because of the fact that I'm talking to a person. Like, I'm not sleeping with a bunch of different people. I'm literally just talking to this person and having fun with my life. I just was so fucking hurt at the fact that they were calling me these names and they were saying all this stuff about me and that they wanted to kick me out of the house. Like, if you talk to them, they're going to say that I chose to leave. In a way, they're right. But for the most part, I think that they're wrong. So they were saying like all this stuff to me. And they were like, we don't want you seeing him. And I told them, I was like, I'm not going to stop seeing him. But I also don't want to leave the house. Like, this is where I live. I want to live here. And also, mind you, like, at this point in time, I wasn't planning on taking this guy seriously. I was literally just having fun. Like, I really didn't want to be in a serious relationship. I had just broken up with someone of 4 years. And I was just trying to have fun. And, like, they didn't get that. Like, they thought I wanted to be with him so bad that I was going to leave the house and, like, stay with him and, like, run away with him or something. And I really didn't want that. I didn't want that at all. Like, I wanted to live at home. And I wanted to just have fun and be happy and keep doing my thing. Keep going to school. Keep working. Like, the story's all over the place. I don't even know if it actually makes sense anymore. But so finally, like, this is like as time went on, like I think we were both all like fighting it for a while. Like, they kept telling me, if you're gonna keep seeing him, you have to leave. And I was like, I'm not gonna stop seeing him, and I'm also not gonna leave. And eventually, like, it got to the point where both my parents were like, you can't see him. And I was like, I'm not gonna stop seeing him. Like, at this point, it really wasn't even about him. Like, it wasn't even about me wanting to be with him. It was about the fact that they were really letting this one decision define the way they think about me. And the fact that this one decision was literally just me, for once, choosing to be happy. Like, I was choosing myself over anyone else. And they were just so unhappy with it. And it was really hurting me. And that's, honestly, I think it was, like, my pride that ultimately got me kicked out. Because I was like, I just didn't understand how they could be like that. Like, I didn't understand how they can just kick me out like that. Like, it just, I don't know. I just didn't understand the... So good. So, I don't know. Like I said, you could see it however you want. Maybe you'll think that I chose to leave. I'm such a bad fucking storyteller. Oh my god. Basically, after we had that conversation, I told my dad, I'm not going to stop seeing him. And he said to get out. So sure enough, I packed up all my stuff and I left. Like, that's that. Like, that's literally the story. Oh my god, that was literally so boring. I think they thought that I was gonna like pack my bags and leave with him, and they thought, like I said, they thought that I was gonna like run away with him because I loved him so much. And in reality, like, it really wasn't like that at all. I think at this point, I just had so much pride that I was like, I'm not gonna stop seeing someone. I'm not gonna do what you want. For the first time ever in my life, I'm not gonna do what you want. I'm gonna do what I want, and I'm gonna choose my own happiness over anyone else's, because I didn't do that before. So I remember they did ask me something. I think they were like, oh, you can go live with your, what did my dad call him? My dad was like, you can go sleep with your fuck or something like that. Like, your fuck toy or something. He was like, you can go live with your fuck toy or something like that. And I was like, like, my parents have never talked to me like that. Like, my parents they do like curse a lot and they do talk to each other pretty badly, but they've never spoken to me like that. Like, they've called me names, but I don't know. That was just the first time they had ever talked to me like that. And, like, it really fucking hurt my feelings. So that's also one of the reasons why when they said get out, I was like, okay, fine. At the very end. Because they were being so disrespectful towards me. And I kind of felt like I don't deserve this at all. Like, honestly, I really think that just because someone is your family doesn't mean that they deserve to be in your life. Like, sometimes a family is so negative and so toxic that you really should remove them from your life. And you just really should, because you don't have to keep family in your life if they're the negative and toxic people in your life. If they're the ones bringing you down and they're the one making you unhappy, like, remove them from your life. It's hard, but I promise it'll make things so much better. So, whatever. Luckily, I had one of my cousins pick me up, and I ended up staying with her for a while. Thank God for her and her family. They all know who they are. And yeah, that's basically like how I got kicked out. At this point, it was about how they were disrespecting me and about how they were treating me. Like, that's really ultimately why I guess I left. Like, ultimately, that's why I was okay with packing my bags and letting them kick me out. Because they were so disrespectful to me. And they were calling me so many names when I thought that I didn't deserve that. Like, I really thought in my heart that I was doing so much fucking good in my life, and for them to look down on me because of one thing, like, that was fucked up. And that was really fucked up for my parents to talk to me like that. And to this day, I still think that, My parents and I have a good relationship right now. It's honestly better than it's ever been before. I don't live with my parents anymore, and I truly think that that has a lot to do with why we have such a good relationship. But I didn't talk to them for a really long time after they kicked me out. Bro, this video is long as fuck. Eventually, that relationship with Arthur ended up being the worst relationship I've ever been in my life. He was toxic and abusive in literally every single way. I don't want to blame my parents and say that they're the reason that I went through that, but I really do think that if I would have had their home, like if I was still living there, I would have been able to leave Arthur sooner than I actually did. Like, because of the fact that I wasn't living there, I didn't really have anywhere to go. I didn't have a home. Like, I wasn't talking to my parents. My siblings barely spoke to me. I just was really disconnected from my family, and all I had was Arthur. Like, he was just literally the only person that I guess cared but also didn't care about me, and I only had him, so he really did like fucking have me. So if you guys want to know about my relationship with Arthur, let me know in the comments down below. I'm not really afraid to talk about it just because it happened. Like, it is what it is. Like, that part of my life, it just happened, so like it is what it is. I'm full. But yeah, that's basically the story. And after my relationship with Arthur ended, I didn't move back home. Luckily, my best friend's family was renting out a room, and that's where I live now. So I'm so lucky that I'm living here. I don't want to ever live with my parents ever again, because as much as I fucking love them, they can be some pretty negative people, and I just think that my parents and I are better off not living together, because it allows us to cherish the moments that we do have together. And I know for a fact that that's what they think too. Maybe a little bit different, but that's really how I see it. The past is the past. Like, things happened. Yeah, they called me a lot of fucking names, but I also said, like, I hate them so many times. And, you know, sometimes we say shit that we don't mean, even though at the time I kind of mean, even though at the time I kind of meant it. Like, I love them to death, no matter what. All is forgiven. At the end of the day, they're my parents, and I love them, and that's that. But I also don't ever want to live with them ever again, unless I'm desperate. Which I might be pretty soon, because the girl is broke. So basically, that's my story. I'm sorry it was long as fuck. I know it wasn't really that interesting also, but I kind of warned you at the very beginning that it wasn't going to be that interesting. So I hope you enjoyed. If you didn't, I don't know what to tell you. Like, but I hope you like this video. Like I said already, if you want to hear the story of my relationship with Arthur and how toxic and abusive it was, I honestly kind of don't really mind sharing that part of my life, because it happened to me, and like, it's a story that I think would relate to a lot of people. So let me know down in the comments below if you want to hear that story. It's a pretty semi-interesting one. I mean, I don't really know what you guys find interesting and what you don't, but yeah, I hope you like this video. If you came here for my drunk get ready with me and you watched this video in its entirety, is that a real word? I don't know, but if you watched this entire video and you're at this point, I really appreciate it. Use a real one, and I hope you guys have a good day. Honestly, I'm so glad that I ate today, because now your girl can go out and drink a little bit more than usual and not black out so fast. I'll probably still black out, but like not after 2 shots, you know? This time maybe I can take like 4 shots or 5. I guess we'll see. Have a good day, guys.